You're listening to The Empowered Advocate, a podcast from Greensboro Pregnancy Care Center. Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Greensboro Pregnancy Care Center's brand new podcast. This is called The Empowered Advocate, and this podcast is for you, the listener, and our goal is to help empower you to advocate for the unborn child and also for women and men who find themselves in an unplanned pregnancy. So we're super excited today to introduce you to some of our staff members, and we're going to be giving you kind of a crash course on the Greensboro Pregnancy Care Center. And in the future weeks, we'll be talking about things like abortion, adoption, biblical sexuality, all kinds of things that are relevant to our culture now. So we hope you'll subscribe and keep hanging around so you can hear what's up next for us. So here today with me, I have Carter Mundy and Deanna Jewell. Guys, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So what we'll do first is I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. So tell us your name, what your role is here at the Care Center, and then just like a really short snippet about what you do on a day-to-day basis. So Carter, why don't you start?
Cool. I am Carter, and I am the Associate Executive Director here at the Pregnancy Center. That just means I do a whole lot of weird stuff that is, not as important as what Deanna does, because she does the day-to-day stuff that's really important with our clients. But I'm over communications, and I help downstairs with all of our client services. I help with health services some. I work with our volunteer coordinator. So I do just a little bit of everything here at the Pregnancy Care Center.
Right. Cool. And you're the only man here.
Well, we do have a mobile unit assistant.
Yeah.
His name's Bob.
Mm-hmm.
So he's our other guy, but he's not here very often.
Right. So you're surrounded by women a lot, but you handle
it's my
it
life.
well.
Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement.
Yeah.
For once.
And, yeah. Well, and you also tell us about your family a little bit.
So my wife's name is Tamara. We've been married for almost 10 years this year, and we have 3 young children, a 5-year-old named Evelyn, and a 3-year-old named Guinevere, and then a 4-month-old named Bodrick, which is a family name. A lot of people ask. We call him Bo.
Mm-hmm.
He's cool. He's a cool dude. So It's not just me anymore.
I know. You're not. You be more and you won't be as outnumbered. So. All right. Well, Deanna, tell us about you.
Sure. So my name is Deanna, and I'm the Client Services Director here. So basically tell people probably what they think about the Care Center initially is kind of my forte. So all the services that we offer for our clients, overseeing the volunteers and the staff for that. Been here almost 3 years now, which is crazy. And a little bit about myself, I have 3 older sisters that are all spread out, but I have 13 nieces and nephews by those 3 sisters. So they keep me busy. I serve at my local church in the youth ministry, and now I just started my seminary degree. So I'm just running all over the place.
Busy woman, yeah. I'm curious, are you like the godmother of all your nieces and nephews? Like, that could be very interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to talk about that. I think I should be.
Yeah, maybe I should talk about that. Well, and I'm Mary Hallman. I'm the communications coordinator, and so I work a lot with Carter. I do anything you see on our social media, anything on our blog, videos, things of that nature, I'm usually involved in that. So if you see stuff blowing up your feed, you can thank me for that. So let's go ahead and get started, kind of get into it. Today we really want to give our listeners and viewers a good overview and understanding of who we are and what we do. So Deanna, why don't you sum up briefly exactly what our services are and how we can meet needs for our clients?
Sure. So we sort of have a couple different areas of service for our clients. So as far as the medical services, we have, and everything is free. So we have pregnancy testing, limited ultrasounds, STD testing and treatment, and contraceptive education appointments. So those are our medical services. Then we also have our classes and programs. So we have a pregnancy and parenting class. It's typically between 5 and 8 weeks long, and they take that in a series. Then we have a life skills class that's happening every week on different topics like finances. Maybe we'll go through a book like the 5 love languages, or we'll have like one-time series about dental hygiene or different things that would be applicable to our clients in their lives. So those are the classes, and then every time that they come to one of those classes, they're getting free resources. So that's kind of another thing that we offer for our clients. So baby clothes, diapers and wipes, maternity clothes, baby furniture, all those sorts of fun things that people need. And then our programs, we do have an abortion recovery program for any client or volunteer who has had an abortion and feel like they need that recovery, that healing, to go through that healing process. And then we have what's most important, I think, is our Titus II mentoring program, which just connects our clients to a woman at a local church to just start doing life together with. So she doesn't necessarily have to be a Christian. A lot of our clients who are interested in the program say they are, but just start doing life together, get coffee, do Bible study, go to church, however they want to do that relationship. And so why I think that's most important is because we as the care center and my staff and our volunteers here in-house, we can't be that long-term support network for our clients, but the local church is a community, and that's a support network that she can have long-term.
Mm-hmm. I like what you said, specifically long-term. So we're not interested in just helping out a woman with her immediate needs. We are,
Right.
but anyone. Sorry about that, guys. But we really care about her future, and not just here on earth, but her eternal future. And so that brings to mind something that I'd like to ask you about, Carter. We talk a lot about our success sequence, and so Deanna mentioned several things that we offer for clients that kind of treat that woman in a holistic way. So physical, spiritual, things of that nature. Can you talk a little bit about what we mean when we say success sequence?
Yeah, it's the sequence for success that we want for our clients. So what we try to do is meet someone where they are in their moment of need. Typically, it's a crisis moment for them. It's unplanned pregnancy. They don't know what to do. In general, we want to reach those who are specifically thinking about abortion as their only option. And what we want to do is help them see that it's not their only option. They don't have to have an abortion if they don't want to. What they can do is go through our sequence and come out on the other end with an optimal health outcome is kind of how we say it. So they start with the medical services, which meets them where they are, and then they move up to the education and resources level, which is where they kind of get equipped and empowered so that they can move forward in a healthy way. And then we move them into, finally, like you said, the most important, we think, is the mentorship so that they have a healthy support network. And then that, we believe, leads to optimal health outcomes for them.
Yeah. I think one way we also say that is that we want to walk with a woman before, during, and after an unplanned pregnancy. So we want to stick with her as much as possible and then connect her to the church. So I love that about what we do. So in the past, 5 years, we've experienced a ton of changes. And I know sometimes we talk about, Deanna, how you said you've been here almost 3 years. You've seen pretty much all of those changes since you got here. It's like you got here and hit the ground running. So talk a little bit about those changes you've experienced and what those have been, because not everybody is familiar with the fact that the care center's been here for over 30 years. So just kind of talk about what's happened recently.
Yes. So I was just thinking about this the other day when I was thinking about my 3 year, and I'm like, wow, a lot has changed.
Just a little bit.
A lot has happened. So initially when I first got here in the summer of 2016, we started taking our mobile unit out. We started taking that out on Randleman Road 1 day a week on Saturdays, just to even add another day. And now we're taking that out 4 days a week, and have been doing that for a while now. I can't even remember when we started adding more days, but have added more days. So even
at least
in just
over a year.
Yeah. So even in just that 3 year period, going from 1 day to 4 days, and we've been doing that for a while. So that happened 6 months in. After I got here we hired a couple nurses. And so, as the former client services director, we used to do a lot of the medical stuff, even of just sending off the urine for STD tests and things like that. And so handing that all over to them 6 months in and training them how to do that stuff that I was doing. Let's see, what else have we done? We've, doubled, if not tripled, in the size of our staff, I would say.
Yeah.
So even just that has been neat, just to see different people, and for me personally, just getting to know some good close friends through the staff and volunteers. We've also, like I said, we added the STD treatment last year. We moved in 2017.
It's a big one.
There's so many different things. We started going out on the sidewalk.
Well, let's stop there for a second. Well, first, kind of explain for anyone who wouldn't know, why did we move? Like, what was the purpose, the idea of moving to this particular location?
Yeah, so actually when I was an intern here in the summer of 2015, the care center was rolling out the 3-phase strategic plan. Is that the right name?
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
And so phase 1 was to go mobile. And so just that next year is when we were able to do that when I came back. And then phase 2 was to move. And so the reason to move was we were really just growing out of our space. Like I said, we've doubled, if not tripled, in our staff size. But also we had a very small conference room up on our second floor, up this like treacherous steps with like a door that opened up onto you, that our, pregnant clients were climbing up for
Having
class.
to, like, shimmy up.
Yeah, shimmy up, and then they were hardly fitting. So we were having to do, my volunteer was having to do she was having to do 2 classes in one night, back to back, because not everybody could fit, because we've got fathers of the babies coming, which is great, or moms, grandmas coming. And so even just for that space alone has just been so great to be able to move to accommodate our clients in that way. And we also we weren't in a neighborhood where our clients were coming from. And so we wanted to go meet them where they were. We have student housing right across from us now. We have so many walk-ins, way more walk-ins now than we ever did. And just so many students that can either walk here or take a quick bus ride here. And so I think those are the 2 main reasons I would say.
Yeah, huge reasons, because it's really changed the amount of people we've been able to serve and how easily they can get to us. So
yeah, we've increased our clients on average about 20% every year for the last 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
So
yeah, and I think a huge part of that is us going to them, like with our new location, of course, but also the mobile unit, like trying to be more readily available instead of waiting for people.
I thought you were going to say it was because of me, but
no, you are a huge part of that too, Deanna. Absolutely. Yeah. All right.
We hire good team members. That's all.
We do. Well, I will say we started with, when I started, it was 4 people. I think 3 of us were full time and then a part time person. Yeah. And now it's what, 20? Are we at 20 now?
A little over 20, yeah,
Something
21
like
maybe.
So
I can't keep up either.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but seriously, it's just that's a really it just points to the growth, the incredible growth we're having. So, well, great. Well, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we will talk a little more in depth, not so much about what we do, but about why we do it. Okay?
Good.
Great.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.
All right, guys, welcome back. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the why behind what we do. And I think this is important because there's some misconceptions about why we're here and who exactly we're serving and who we care about. So Carter, let me start with you and ask a little bit. You're the Associate Executive Director, so you are probably used to explaining to a lot of people about our mission. So tell a little bit about the heart behind why we are here.
Man, we really want to empower the local church to minister to people as a Christian organization. So there's been a lot of stuff in the news lately. There's always things about pregnancy centers that people in our cultures tend to dislike for whatever reason, but we're not ashamed to say that we're a Christian organization. We want to share the gospel with people. We shared the gospel with over 80% of our clients last year, empowering local Christians from local churches to do that and to minister to folks. So that's really the primary reason why we're here. We want to serve our community, but specifically we want to serve them as people who are facing an unplanned pregnancy and they're afraid and they need that help. So I don't know, does that help?
Yeah,
does
absolutely.
That get at what you're talking about?
Some things I hear a lot of the time, honestly, when I tell people, I work for Greensboro Pregnancy Care Center, they'll say to me, oh, so kind of like Planned Parenthood a little bit. And I'm like, actually not at all, a little bit. But that is a common misconception because some people think, well, Planned Parenthood, pregnancy tests, abortions, that kind of thing. And we are very clear about the fact that we do not offer or refer for abortion. So, Deanna, can you speak a little bit to the why behind that? So a lot of people might say, well, if a woman can't handle, a pregnancy, why wouldn't you offer that if you care about the woman? So maybe talk about why we don't offer abortions.
Yeah, I would beg to say that we care more about women, and which is why we don't do abortions here or refer for them, is because we want what's best for women. And we know that choosing life in either carrying to term in parenting or carrying to term in placing for adoption is what's best for a woman, not just physically, but also emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. You have depression, suicide, anxiety rates going up in women who have had abortions. And even on the paperwork that our clients are coming in, they'll mark that they're interested in abortion recovery. Well, why would you put yourself in a situation that you know you're going to need recovery from? And so that's why we want what's best for women, and we just don't think abortion is it.
Well, it reminds me of our plumb line, too. We have some guiding statements here at the Care Center, and one of them is that we want to make abortion unnecessary.
Right.
So often they think it's necessary. They
Right.
think it's their only option. They can't do anything else because of the future, the finances, or whatever. And what we want to do is help them see it's not necessary.
Right.
You don't have to do this.
Well, and we remove obstacles. Our desire is to remove obstacles
Right.
because honestly, let's be real. If a woman is facing an unplanned pregnancy, she has very real concerns. Finances, or maybe the father has left the picture. Those are real issues, and I think it's important to notice that, or to point out that we don't ignore those issues.
Right.
We acknowledge them, and that's why all those programs you mentioned, the things exist. We want to help women, but we believe that abortion seems like the easy fix in the moment, and it's just not. Honestly, for a woman who's pregnant, there's no choice in front of her that's easy.
No.
And that's what when we tend to want. We want the path of least resistance, and it just doesn't exist. And so we're trying to help that woman, face her situation without fear, and to face those obstacles in a practical way.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about abortion and the gospel. So we talked about how we are a Christian organization. So obviously, everything you just mentioned about abortion not being the healthiest choice for a woman, yes, 100%. How does our faith inform that decision too? So maybe, Carter, could you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those issues that it's hard to understand why or how it became okay and how it became something that our culture is behind. Because when we talk about taking the life of an innocent human being, God says that every human life has value. The Bible teaches us that every human life has value. Every marginalized person, every poor person, every old person, every young person, every unborn person. So that our faith informs that, because we believe that every human being has value. And the reason we believe that is because every human bears God's image. We're made to be like God in the world, to bear his image, to steward his image to the rest of creation. And so as Christians, we very much believe in the value of all human life, especially the unborn human who has that potential and doesn't even get a chance if their life is taken before they're even born. So
right, exactly. And I think too, just the message of the gospel is life-giving in and of itself. And so we as believers, as Christians, should be above all else people who celebrate life.
Absolutely.
The fact that the message of the gospel is that Jesus died but then was resurrected.
Yeah.
And so if there's no resurrection, then we have no hope. We have all people, the people most to be pitied. We celebrate life, we want to protect it. And so I think you summed that up really well.
Yeah.
So let's talk briefly about, one thing we say about the Care Center is that we are volunteer-led, staff-supported. So what does that mean, Deanna, and what kind of role do volunteers play in the Care Center?
Yeah, volunteers play a myriad of ways here, in a myriad of ways. So we have, in my area, they can be interacting with clients. So whether that be leading a pregnancy test or an STD test appointment with one of our nurses. We call that a peer advocate. You're advocating for that woman, being there, fighting for her, empowering her. And then they can, be a part of our classes and leading those classes. But then they can also be behind the scenes as well. They can be helping up in our care cottage sort the donations that everyone's given us and that we're going to give away to our clients. Or they can be helping Priscilla behind the scenes for one of our fundraising events. Or they can be helping her raise money. If anybody wants to do that, she'd love to have you.
Yes.
So there's a whole bunch of ways. We have also volunteers out on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
There's no way, there's just not enough of us here on staff to be able to see the clients that we're seeing and to see them well, to give them that excellent care without that help. And so our volunteers are just so crucial. And so what it means by supported is that we are supporting them with training and equipping them so that they can serve in this way.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember kind of what I said earlier is that we want to empower Christians to do this work, because the local church, the way that we think about it here is it's God's plan A for changing the world and for serving the world. And so we as an organization aren't the church. We want to empower Christians to be able to serve those in their local community. And the way that we do that is by supporting them as staff so that they can effectively minister to people here. So that's what it means to be volunteer-led. The volunteers are responsible for ministering, and we want to support them as a staff.
Yeah. So, Deanna, what would you say to someone who's like, I really care about the mission of the Care Center, but I'm just not, I don't know if I'd be great in that kind of stuff with people, like being out there talking about these issues. I don't really know a whole lot about it. How might you respond to someone with some of those concerns?
Yeah, I would say definitely come check us out. Either that be, glancing at our website first or just kind of following us on social media and seeing what we're all about. But definitely signing up for one of our open houses. We have those every other month. So they can go to our website, gsocarecenter.org/open house, and sign up for one of those. RSVP for one of those. Me and Carter and our new volunteer coordinator lead that and talk about who we are, what we do, and then how you can get involved. Because like I said, there are so many more ways that you can get involved beyond what I even said.
Right.
And so just figure that out. And you don't even have to sign up that night if that's not something that you feel comfortable with, but at least come learn about us, why we do what we do, and what we do.
Yeah, so we're flexible. We're willing to talk to you about any concerns you might have. And what we'll do is we'll also include a link below this video and also in the show notes that you can click on if you want to sign up for the open house, or just look at our website and find out more about that. Welcome back to the Empowered Advocate. We're going to wrap up here with just a few more questions that I have. Carter, tell us a little bit about the overall goal of the Care Center, or the direction for the Care Center for this coming year.
Obviously, we have a ton of goals. I mean, we always do. And like Deanna said earlier, we want to make sure we have more volunteers that come on. That's a big goal, because the more volunteers we have, the more ministry we can see done here. But we want to increase our clients. We're on a trajectory right now to see close to 1,200 clients if everything goes as it's going. But we don't want to just see more clients, although that's great. We do want to make sure that we're seeing specific kinds of clients. And so the specific kind of client that we're actually looking to increase would be those who are considering abortion. Those people who feel like it is their only option, that it is necessary, the only necessary choice for them, and we want to help make it unnecessary to them so that they're not letting fear dictate their circumstances, so that they have everything that they need so that they can move forward without making that choice, knowing that we're here to help every step of the way. So that's probably the biggest goal that we have. Of course, we want to increase, our donors. We want to make sure that we have more and more people coming on board and investing their finances in the ministry here so that they're seeing more and more people served. So those are some of the big goals, but I mean, you probably have some specific things that you could speak to as well.
Yeah, I think a couple of the ways my department is going to try to reach more abortion-minded clients is by adding more days out on the sidewalk. We've had another organization helping us out there cover all 6 days that they're open, and so we want to help them because they also want to go to the Planned Parenthood in Winston, and so adding more days out on the sidewalk, and also just making the services better for our clients who are coming. So yes, we want to see more clients, but we want to make sure we're giving each of those more clients, the excellent care that they deserve. Right. And so that has to do with our medical services, our classes and programs, and our Titus II mentorship, and making that better and getting more clients into that, because if we really believe that that's what's best for them is to get them into that healthy support network, making that the best it can be and getting more clients to that point.
Right, that's great. And then as far as, communications go, I think what we really want to see is just increased excellence in the way we market and the way we present ourselves. So whether that be on social media or more videos, more storytelling, sharing stories of clients, because that's what everyone can connect to. Everyone has a story and everyone can connect to that. So yeah, just increasing the excellence with which we present ourselves. So yeah, a lot of exciting things on the horizon for the Care Center. definitely.
There's probably more that's going to happen too that we just have no idea.
Oh,
yet,
yeah.
because that happens every year.
Right, yeah.
Who knows?
So stay tuned.
Yeah, no rest for the weary, always changing. Well, thank you so much for listening and for watching with us today. We are so excited about this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe and to stay tuned and come back and listen to the next episodes. We're going to be covering all kinds of really interesting topics and be hearing from different people on these different topics. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
man.